There it is up on the right. I love the drive up to this place. Feels like a home away from home. Work all week. Get to come up here and do more work, but I really enjoy doing all this stuff, and I'm excited to see what happens here. So let's take a tour of this place and show you what it looks like. Okay, here we are. We're going to give you all a tour of the 8 outbuildings at the farm, starting with this one. This house was built in 1872. There have been some additions, minor additions to it since then, and some renovations have started as far as this building is concerned. First and foremost, the roof of the house was replaced with a new metal roof within the last 8 to 10 years, including gutter and drainage systems. So that's cool. The siding, as you can see, is an asbestos siding. That material is considered dangerous to handle, but when it's on a structure, it's pretty impervious to the elements, so it lasts a long time. As you can see, though, it could certainly use some paint. This section of the house that you're looking at right now in the corner, that's not asbestos. That is obviously a different material. That's tug and groove pine that was used to encase that front porch. Maybe we'll remove that and restore the front porch to its original form. Maybe not. We will see. The windows on the house, some of them are new, meaning less than a year old. There are some that are newer, that are a few years old, and then there are some that are literally ancient. They've been there for a long time. So stick around with us as we continue around on this tour of the buildings. Moving around back here, you see some American pokeweed growing up around the house. We took care of that, and you'll see as we move through this, a lot of the weeds and stuff that have grown up and gotten taken care of. The power line you see there going to the house, the power is on and does work. I think it was an old 100 amp service. Currently we're in the process of upgrading that. There is a new electrical box inside, breaker box, but it's just empty, so we haven't started on that. And back here you will see the air conditioning compressor. The entire HVAC system was installed, replaced. It's brand new as of 2018. We haven't used it, or it hasn't been turned on for a little bit over a year, as the downstairs in the house has been gutted, but it functions. So this portion of the house, that this 1-story level here on the back with the storm door, that is a multi-purpose utility room. It does not have a new roof on it in this video, but that section did get a new roof just probably a month or two before the filming or the release of this video. But that utility room is really handy, doors on both sides, so you can come in, take your muddy shoes off. There's storage in there. The well pump for the house is inside there, as well as the electrical breaker box. And moving around here, this is the entrance we use the most. And nope, sorry, we're not going to go in there today. Not in this video. Stick around. We'll show you that. We'll get to that at some point. Okay, let's get moving. Enough of the house. Let's walk over here to the east end of the property, to the very last building on the end, the one you see straight ahead. That one is a chicken coop, or was a chicken coop. It's now an empty chicken coop. But when this was a working farm, that was its purpose. Do not have an intended future purpose for this building yet. Our plan is to go through each one of these and film inside and out, and we'll get to that as the project moves on. This second one was, I think, just a cat house, shed slash structure used for that. Cats are very helpful on the farm. If you don't know that, they keep rodents under control. And I'm pretty sure that's where they kept the stuff for the cats that were working on this farm. This shed here, building 3, fairly interesting on the inside, as you'll see that dirt has piled up inside this structure. As I get a little closer, outside I'm kind of just looking at how much the wood has rotted there along the roof line. You can see that it was wrapped in metal because the wood had gotten in bad shape. There's what I'm talking about. See the dirt piled up in there? That's not man-made, that's groundhog made. They kept tunneling under this building, mostly in the rear, and the dirt just kept piling up inside over the years. So that'll be fun to get in there and dig all that out. As we move away, you'll see one of the volunteer trees. I panned up and down because that's on my list of things to remove. And moving on to building 4, this was the corn crib for the farm. Corn crib was used to hold ears of corn up off the ground so it could dry or preserve it over the winter. Usually had a level inside to keep the corn off the floor and keep the rodents out, but nonetheless, you could also store the cobs once you remove the corn off of it to feed to animals. The cobs could be used for fires, starting fires. It's great once it's dried out. But anyway, you can see the building, as most of them are, heavily weathered. That one has a portion of the roof that's blown off. We couldn't really get too close to it because it was surrounded in this pokeweed, which we've since cleaned up. There you see some of the metal. This farm, a lot of the buildings were encased in metal rather than wood, or if they were originally made of wood, they were encased in metal. As the wood decayed, the metal lasts a lot longer, as you know. You can paint that and don't have to worry about the exterior rotting. So as we move on to building 5, you see there is the John Deere LX266. We did a 3-part series on that tractor, and this is kind of cool because this is how it was found. It was sitting in this open air garage port / tool shed building, sitting right there for the mice to just wreak havoc on it. This building was used by the farm for storing the tractors and equipment, as was the main barn. But and moving along here, I just can't get past that LX266. So happy with how that project turned out. But anyway, back in the back, that's a tool shed. I'm anxious to get in there and see what's in there. I have not, admittedly, I have not been in there at this point. So let's move on to building 6. This long rectangular garage was used for storing the towable implements, like a plow, disc, sprayers, etc., etc. Metal roof building, wood side. You can see it's leaning over slightly. That's from decades of heavy winds blowing across this flat farmland. This volunteer tree on the end, and is exactly that, a volunteer tree. It's quite large. It blocks what was the entrance. The doors to the garage had actually blown off or fallen off just from age, and they're laying in the weeds there, as you can see. Moving around to this debris pile. This was just you got to have a place to put things. You got to have a place to put materials when you have a farm. This was where just dirt, gravel, any extra materials were just put over here. Of course, some of the wood materials that were intended to be burned were stacked here, and we'll get rid of those as time goes on. I do want to note in the back of that pile, there are some large stones that we could use for some projects. I was pretty fired up when I saw those. Going to be a workout to move them. Anyway, let's move around here and get to the largest building on the property, the red barn here. It is wood posts. I don't know, they're monstrous posts that were used to construct this barn, but the exterior is metal over wood with a metal roof. The metal roof on the barn has some heavy wind damage, both here on the corner and on the eastern end. Has been ripped and just peeled away like aluminum foil. But inside the barn, which was used for the animals, as I mentioned earlier, this farm had livestock, had some cows, had some pigs, and other animals, chickens, so forth. And this was the barn where you could find them and where they were fed. Kind of cool there. You look across and you see the basketball backboard and rim. There was almost a half-court basketball court in here. That's pretty neat. These large doors, of course, have also blown in and blown off from the wind. And you can see some of these panels, too, have been opened up. It's kind of interesting how powerful the winds get out here to remove that stuff. There's the John Deere G110 automatic that I had also done a video on. And that's where this one sat, exactly in that location. Surprising nobody walked off with it. Trailered off with it, but neighbors are really good about keeping an eye on things around here, so that's helpful. I don't think I ever want to climb on that ladder you see hanging on the wall. I bet that would snap in half, especially under my weight. But yeah, this barn is a staple of this farm for many years, but it is in pretty rough shape. I'm curious to see structurally if I can salvage it. Clearly, I've got to do something with the roof, like this end here that's a shorter portion of the building. That roof is in really bad shape, as you can see underneath. And then fast forward to when I'm releasing this video, as I mentioned earlier, this footage was shot a year ago. Now that roof on that shorter part of the building has really been blown to bits from the heavy winds that the farm got, especially in the spring of 2026. And that concludes the tour of these 8 structures on the farm. Thanks for joining us today. And if you like what you see, give us a like and subscribe. Also, if you want that stove right there, come get it. Just kidding. We've got to throw that out. Thanks again for watching. Perhaps in one of our other videos, you might have seen this baby. This old guy. Yeah. Yeah, the old G10. She was sitting for a few weeks after we got her running. Needs a bath.